guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm finally going to be doing a boot video. I've been getting a lot of questions about my boot collection, so I'm going to be showing you the top 5 ones that I believe you should have in your boot wardrobe. So whether or not it's like the exact same boot or some sort of similar one, I think having these 5 different boots will really help you have a versatile winter wardrobe. So I'm going to start off talking about my Chelsea boots. So I didn't get a pair of Chelsea boots in my collection until I think last year. I have always liked, you know, like those more masculine type of looks, and not having a pair of Chelsea boots was definitely really hard for me to dress down and toughen up some looks. So definitely recommend getting a pair of Chelsea boots if you can, if you don't already have them. I chose to go with like a suede beigey camel-y one just because I have a lot of black boots and I wanted something that was lighter in case I wanted to wear a lighter outfit. And these ones are like the perfect color. They are hard to wear all winter round though because they are suede and such a light color. You might want to spray them with an all leather protector spray. I will link a couple down there that I use. I use 2 different types, both about the same price, about the same effectiveness. You just have to remember to spray them every so often. So for these boots, because they are so masculine, I wanted to make sure that the Chelsea boots that I found were a little bit more narrow in the toe. I'd call these almost like an almond toe. They're not exactly pointed, but they're definitely not flat or super round. That's why they make them look a little bit more elegant, a little bit more sophisticated than your average Chelsea boot. They go so great with everything. And also another thing to look for when you're looking for winter boots are the soles. So these ones are kind of like a gummy sole. They might not have those treads that you look for in hardcore winter boots, but they definitely are a lot more grippy than some other boots. Alright, so next up are a pair of boots I've had, I want to say, for almost 6 years, if not 7 years. These are my Roots combat boots. So these guys have been with me through the thick and the thin, walking in deep snow at McMaster in Hamilton, and they are still alive and well. So a thing with buying leather boots, you want to make sure you're buying good leather, because if you buy boots that are made of good leather, 6 years later they still look pretty great. Even though they do look worn, they look like very cool worn. So this was like, I think my first pair of brown boots, I'd say. The laces are still great, but you can clearly see there's a little bit of salt staining and weather staining, but that's gonna happen with any boot. You just have to decide if you like the look or not. If you don't mind it, I'm still wearing it. If you don't like it, then I guess it's time to get a new pair. So these ones do have like a similar gummy sole as the common projects, but these ones are a little bit harder. So you can see there's a little bit of tread in the grooving here, and even after 6 years of wear, it hasn't totally worn out. So whenever I wear them, I'm not like slipping and sliding. Another thing with these, they do come up quite high, so I have not really ever gotten snow inside this boot unless I'm obviously stepping through like 3 feet of snow, but in that case I would wear like my hardcore boots, which I won't be showing you today because they're not even here with me at the condo. I'll have to maybe show you another time because they're with my parents. So another great thing about these boots, I can wear them like a couple different ways. I wear them unlaced, so they look like really like grungy and almost like utilitarian inspired, and then you can also lace it all the way up and it just looks a little bit more clean, a little bit more tomboy-esque, less of that grungy cool feeling. But they both, wearing them either way, I'm still a fan of. But whichever way you choose, I still think they look super cool. These are the snake print Ada ones. So they do have a square toe. I have gotten some comments about them looking like cowboy boots. I do like that they do look Western inspired. That's why I bought them. I bought them because I wanted boots that were like slightly Westerny and had a snake print pattern, because those were 2 trends that I kind of liked. Didn't love them enough to like commit to a full like snake print heel boot or a full like super square toe like Calvin Klein boot, because I didn't want to invest that much money on a pair of boots I didn't see myself wearing in 5 years. So that is my thought process when I think about if I should buy into a trend. So these boots I'm loving because they are so narrow and I have very narrow feet, so I needed to find a pair that didn't make me look super clunky. The snake print is like black and white, so it's kind of a neutral on its own, but just has like some really nice texture details on it. It does have a zipper, and that really helps because the boot is so narrow and it is taller that you're not going to be able to slip your foot in and out. It just makes it a lot easier to just take it on and off. This is leather all around, like the insides are leather, the outside's leather, so definitely a very high quality boot. So as you all know, I'm not like a huge heel person. I'll put on some super high stilettos if I have like a super formal place to go, but on like a day-to-day basis, or if I have like kind of fancier events, I'm probably not gonna wear like really huge heels. So I always look for little booties, especially in the winter, that have like a block heel, maybe that are like this high. So these ones are by far my favorite, of course. These are my Celine booties with the wooden heel. So what I love about them is like the heel is really not that high, but because of the shape of them, it almost like elevates the boot even more. And then this really cool zipper detail gives this otherwise like, I guess, more of a conservative black booty something a little bit more fun. The other thing is it has like a very interesting toe that you don't find in a lot of shoes. I'd say that I have a pretty narrow foot, so these ones work really nicely with my feet. But if you have a wider foot, I would double check and maybe try them on in store if you can. I usually pair them with jeans, as you've seen me style them before, but they'll also look really cute with like a longer skirt, if not maybe even a shorter skirt. I haven't worn these in the summer because I got them in the fall, so I'm pretty excited. I think these are a pair of boots that can go through many seasons, and in 10 years I can even see myself wearing these still. This type of boot is definitely like a forever piece. All right, so last but not least, definitely not least, are the boots that I feel like everyone asks about all the time because they're just so awesome. So these are my Stuart Weitzman 50/50 booties. I remember seeing them come out this year, and I was like, I really want them, but I don't really need them because I had black boots already. Apparently fate had a game plan, because I think 2 weeks, 3 weeks after I was like contemplating whether I needed these or not, my Isabel Marant black boots that I have worn like every day probably, even in spring summer, broke for 2 years. Like I had worn them 2 years straight, and they finally broke. The heel part kind of snapped off, like the little boot heel that was like almost like this. It kind of like came apart here as I like fell down some stairs, but I'm okay. So yeah, when they broke, I like knew exactly which boots to get, because I was like, hey, that's the world telling me I need these guys. They are amazing. So they are pretty narrow, so like when you put them on, because these are like the slip-on sock version of a boot, they don't have zippers, and so it's a really sleek profile. So it's just like one of the most elegant boots I've ever had, and if they last that long, if like I don't wear them out, I can be wearing them for decades. But I mean, I'll probably break them because I'll probably wear them so much. I have been wearing them a lot already. I have sprayed them, so you can see that the boots are like a, not necessarily pebbled leather, but they can scratch and they can get dirty. So make sure you spray your boots, because a lot of the time people that, oh, I don't have a suede boot, I have like a regular leather boot, they should be fine like all winter, but they're not. Please make sure you spray them. And then I also took it a step further this year and got these little like packets of shoe wipes. So I don't keep them in my bag. Some people tell me to do that, but I'm not gonna wipe my shoe in the car. Just, I'm not that type of person. But when I come home and if I see that my boot has gotten dirty, I will wipe them right away, because salt or any type of like dirt like that gets on your boot, it will start eating away at it. If you don't do it right away, like especially for me, I will forget. So these are like my top tips for keeping boots for a long time. So I always spray them when I get them. I spray them twice, if not 3 times, until they're dry. And then I will spray them again, like maybe once every month, depending on how often I wear them. Then also always wipe them if you see that there's dirt on it or salt on it. Even if you don't think it's salt, but you see something on there, I would definitely wipe it, because no, especially if you're in Canada, there's salt in it. Like there's salt everywhere in the winter, so definitely do that. And then if you can, if your shoes do come with like a little dust bag, put them in the dust bag and then put them away to wherever you store your shoes, just because you might not wear them for a week or two and then dust is kind of accumulating on it and it might scratch with your other boots. You just want to protect your shoes. Alright guys, that is my boot video. Those are all my favorite boots of the season. I hope that you enjoyed my explanation of why they're my favorites and how I take care of them. And if you have any questions, please leave them below. Leave me a like and a subscribe, and follow me on Instagram here, and I will see you so soon.